Hello and welcome. Welcome. I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, and it is Sunday, it is afternoon, and it is time for your not so lazy Sunday afternoon productivity stream because it is Camp Nano and it is the last day. And I don't know about you, but I still have targets I would like to hit, if not by the end of today, before Doc's monthly tag up with his writing group, accountability group. So, speaking of, did you want to say hi to the nice people, Doc?
Hi, nice people. I'm Doc. I will be doing the lazy part of this session. uh,
Oh, so, if you're doing the lazy part, you got to tell us what are you snacking on today?
Today's snack is the Utz Party Mix bag.
Very nice, very nice.
So I'll be opening that up in a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm waiting for my groceries to be shopped. Uh, they tell me they'll get to it in the next 3.5 hours. No problem. Uh,
So, sometime before dinner,
yeah, sometime.
probably.
Depending on when you actually have dinner.
Right.
Um, uh, so normally this is where you ask me what I'm doing today, and I'm snacking. I'm waiting for groceries. I'm going to be reading this book, How to Argue the Constitution with a Conservative, which I started months ago and kind of ended up setting aside because I got busy with writing and publishing and stuff like that. And so,
Deadlines. Deadlines.
yeah, well, right now I finished reviewing the stuff from the three editors that I was looking at for Kindred of Kali.
And
And
oh, so you heard back from all of them.
I got sample edits from each of them. I looked at the sample edits. I looked at the information they'd given me about cost and schedule. And yesterday I sent an offer out to one of them, and I'm waiting to hear back from her. So
Awesome.
right now I'm kind of in limbo. I mean, all three of them were good editors. I preferred one of them because she was willing to adjust her timelines for me. Although in the end I decided not to ask her to do that, but she also, just off of the sample edit, she gave me more density of comments, and I'd rather have more density of comments from someone who's okay with me saying no, I like it the way it is, than sparse comments, um, and be wondering, is there something being missed here? So,
Gotcha. And
but
it sounds like you found the majority of the dense comments actually useful.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Because
um,
dense comments only go so far if you think they're wrong over half the time.
this is true. No, just about all the comments were useful. There are one or two things that's like, well, I can see why you'd say that because you don't see the things in my head, which either means that I'm keeping those things secret, or I actually need to change something somewhere to help reveal them more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which happens when you're writing book two of an open-ended series, and
Yeah.
and when you've definitely got elements which are, oh, these are suspenseful things for book five or six. Um, yeah, it gets real fun when you start thinking out, okay, I've got individual stories, but I've also got long arcs, and I can make those arcs really long and really draw them out.
Something about arcs makes me want to stretch.
Oh, we start here, we go over here. No.
Then again, I am working on what I thought was going to be a quote unquote skim read of my manuscript after I got all my revisions in. And it has turned into a not so skim read of
Yeah,
about 15, maybe 20 pages per hour, which sounds about like my editing pace, a little faster, but not by much. I think my average editing pace is 20 pages an hour. Just, when it needs a lot of editing. Obviously there are the chapters you're like, oh yeah, I hit all my beats. But yeah, so I am on my space fantasy. I am, let me see, on page 96 out of 352. So at my current pace, I'm on schedule to have skim read it in about 15 hours. As a person who usually reads about 100 pages an hour when I'm reading for fun, this is perhaps not what I thought it was going to be when I started this weekend. But I don't think I'm going to finish tonight. It could happen. But I do think Doc runs a Germantown, Maryland writers group, and we do our monthly check-in on the second Saturday of the month. So I will definitely be done by then.
Second Sunday.
Sunday, yes, that day of the week.
Yep. You are not going to be able to miss the next meeting because I'm hosting it from your house. So.
Oh yeah, it's at my house. How did I forget that one?
You were busy with other things, but
right? Yeah. So I found out my local library does summer reading and includes adult reading in it, and I think the winning gift is like a Target gift card or something. So totally adult appropriate. And I miss Book It, and I'm too old for Book It, even if I'm not too old for summer reading. So on the last day of summer reading for the official library's program, I'm hosting a not quite Book It pizza party for anyone who's been doing some reading this summer to come hang out, talk about our favorite books, and eat personal pan pizzas, probably from Pizza Hut. They open at like 11:30, so the party kicks off at 11:30, and we'll see how hopping it is. I plan to do my live stream on the 14th, but if my party's hopping, maybe I don't. But if people are done by then, I'll definitely,
Either that or we'll cram all the partiers into your sunroom and do the stream from your living room while they make faces at us. So
pretty much. So we'll figure something out. We hope to be here, but there is not a 100% guarantee. So, or, I do sprints and pop over to eat pizza and then pop back and laugh at, and highly encourage people to get their own pizzas to hang out with us on stream on the 14th. But anyway, that's not today. We are not there yet, unfortunately. No. I still have 254 pages to edit, and then I'm going to find some beta readers and send it off.
So do you know where you're going to go for your beta readers?
So I reached out on Facebook to see who is interested. I am still open to other people saying that they are interested, but I do like to pick between 3 and 5 people. And I like to have readers who aren't writers and people from various backgrounds. So I'm going to try and have a mix. I might just toss all the names in a hat. So we'll see. My dad even offered to edit. So I'm not sure if I'll take him up on it, but it would be appropriate retribution because he's had me beta read a fair number of his works. So anyway, I haven't said hi to people in the chat. Claude is here. Hello and welcome, and enjoys the scratched out lazy on the thumbnail because it's Camp NaNo and I got works to do. And Andy says, ooh, pate mix, live loud. Doc, your crinkling was a little,
sorry,
not too loud, but definitely let us know.
I'll be sure to mute it when I open the bag.
I already emptied a bag of sour cream and onion chips, so I might have another piece of chocolate. We'll see. But anyway, we're 20 minutes in, and I've got words to do. So how about we go ahead and start sprinting?
Let's see.
So I think my real question is, do we use the timer, or do I just go until I finish a chapter and then say, okay, let's go now, and then we'll take a break?
That would
How
be different.
about this?
Okay.
I set up the timer, but if
you're
I'm
not
not
gonna
done yet, I'll just hold up a one finger, and then you'll know the sprint's actually over when I unmute myself.
share. Okay.
So
Hey,
that gives you a target, but I should be,
yeah, it's your show. We can do that.
So Patrick, I saw that you messaged me. I'm trying to get through this. I will respond to you. Patrick is here. Hello and welcome. And I appreciate me using pronouns for people in the audience. So
You're welcome.
oh yes. So okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna hit my share screen. I'm going to hit my share system audio, and I'm gonna find the correct tab. Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Chakalaka-laka. And we're back. I finished the chapter I was working on with a minute and 15 seconds to spare. So I didn't make you sit through me finishing a chapter.
It didn't
Yes,
make us talk to the hand. No.
there's still time. There's still time. So, how was your sprint?
Well, my groceries are being shopped now, and I got through a few pages. I'm learning about early compromises in order to get the Constitution ratified. So,
I
always
mean,
important and entertaining information to important information to know, entertainingly phrased. So,
I know a little bit of it from Hamilton,
mhm.
but I mean,
um,
I also read some of the Federalist Papers and the counters to that back in high school, which was a couple weeks ago.
just a smidge. No, recently.
So, yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
it is what it is. But I am on page 106. So, as I
nice.
said, my chapters aren't very long, but I think it works for this story. Although, yeah, just keeping the pacing is a struggle. But maybe I should, instead of splitting chapters, maybe I should be combining chapters. I don't know.
That could be an option. Yeah, it's always a weird question in terms of how do you break up your chapters. And about the only
Yeah,
real rule that always stands is if your chapter is too long, you need to split it somewhere.
right, right.
uh,
But yeah. So still, mine are averaging. Well, why don't I hit a calculator? I have 349 pages, and I have 41 chapters.
mhm.
So my chapters are averaging about 8 pages, which is
Okay.
maybe a little short.
I don't know. There's nothing wrong with short chapters. I
Okay.
know when I did Perils of Prague, I deliberately aimed my chapters to be between 2,500 and 3,000 words, and I ended up with a lot of short chapters. Couple were actually kind of long, but that
Yeah.
was mostly because I was planning on um doing it up for podcast, and I
And
prefer then that number of words ends up to be about a half hour podcast, and I didn't want to go
gotcha.
too much longer than that because I have known the absolute hell of people who post 3-hour episodes to their podcasts, um, and expect you to sit and listen to them. But I wanted something that would get you could listen to on your commute to work and maybe spend a couple minutes just to finish up the chapter before going in.
So what do you see an average chapter or sorry, commute as? 20 minutes, 40 minutes?
Um, like I said, I planned for half an hour. I know that it usually ranges between 30 and 60 minutes, so you can either get 2 episodes in, or you can get an episode of this and an episode of something else. Um, but yeah, I've had other things where it's like, yeah, the episodes are really long, and
Yeah.
you
So
can't finish. You've got to stop it in the middle, and then it's like, and figure out what's going on later. But based on one of the questions from my editor candidates, I went and looked at my chapters for Kindred, and found out it's like, oh, no wonder I have fewer chapters. My average chapter length has increased by about 1,000 words.
whoops.
Yeah, I wasn't being uh, 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 as restrictive with this, and I ended up running the longer chapters for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, in my original draft, I had some that were, 450 words and some that were 6,700 words, which that one got split. Um, but I think I would think that the average chapter is somewhere between 5 pages and 20 pages. I think after 20 pages, you definitely really should be splitting that up. And let's see, what's 20 pages? 300 times 20 is about 6,000 words. Yeah, if you're over 6,000, I would definitely split it. Traditionally, they say it's 250 words per page, but I've found for at least when I'm drafting, it's closer to 300 to 350 words per page. So it obviously depends on font and everything else. But, so let's pop into the comments. Kelly swung by. Hello and welcome. King Red Spy Red X is here. Hello, Jacob. Yeah. Claude says that they brainstormed the scene they're going to write tomorrow and they're going to pants the whole way. Jacob, right? Jacob got to meet Jimmy Crystal. Kelly asked, what's too long of a chapter? And I was saying over 6,000 words is probably pushing it.
Yeah. I've seen some people talk about writing like 8 to 10,000 word chapters, and it's like, oh, that's way too long.
Yeah. I'm hoping they have some scene breaks in there. And you do know that you can split scenes across chapters. So, Claude says that they get about that 8 pages per chapter seems pretty okay, and that 300 to 315 words per page for them as well. Yeah. So, while I agree that 8 pages per chapter seems okay, one of my chapters is 2 pages, and I think that's a little too short unless it's really impactful, and I don't think this chapter deserves to stand out that much by itself.
Yeah, that's 2 pages is really short.
It's really short. Like if you're doing something like big or super dramatic, I think you can get away with like a really short chapter. And I mean, some people do chapters that are a single sentence. So obviously there are no hard and fast rules, just tendencies and things that readers tend to prefer.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can actually get away with some of those really short chapters because you're switching points of view between chapters. You could have a really short scene that was pivotal, needed to be in that place, needed to be from a particular point of view, and that gives you a great excuse for a short chapter. But generally,
maybe this one does deserve to be on its own. It's when they spot what I'm not calling Baba Yaga's station in the void.
Mm-hmm.
Because I needed more things from the alien point of view and not the human point of view, but I wanted this character to at least see it. And there needed to be a chapter in between to break up the alien's point of view, because they were short on chapters, but this particular scene was pushing 4,000 compared to most of my chapters, which are about 2,000. So yeah, that one needed to be split. So Andy finished completely rewriting a chapter, and that was on top of writing another 500 words earlier today on a short work. Nice. Kelly thinks that 6,000 words for a single chapter is insane. It's long, but it's not unheard of. I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, it's like
I don't like it.
5,000 words is a long chapter, but there may be reasons for doing a chapter that long. Like combat was a big one. But
yeah, usually I would say it works better if it's like action and dialogue. If it's a lot of description and stuff like that mixed in, maybe not so much. But yeah. I see super long chapters like Aaron Sorkin, is that the director's name, who did like West Wing and stuff, who does the long takes where the action just moves from room to room and keeps going?
Yeah, I know there've definitely been some filmmakers that have done really long takes like that, and like I remember uh, 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 the commentary for Contact. While they had some of these really long, continuous looking scene shots, and it turned out that they were actually all spliced together, and that is you're in one place and you follow the character through a door and they're in a completely different place, but they did an absolutely brilliant job of matching it all up together. That yeah, that you can't tell where it was cut in.
Gotcha. So Greg confirmed that I remembered the director's name. So woohoo, pat on the back here. Speaking of, hi Greg, welcome. I actually saw Greg yesterday in person. Remember when I was gushing about the musical Six back at the beginning of the pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it came to DC and I went to go see it yesterday.
Cool.
So
it was a good show.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It was short. It was a little pricey, but I'm glad I made it out. The seats in the National Theater are shallow, so I'm not really sure how anyone taller than me even fits in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
meaning there's not enough seat under your bottom.
no, I mean my knees were going sideways because the seat in front of me was really close.
Okay, they're low.
No, not low. There's smooshed depth wise.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. The height was okay,
They're packed in tight.
yeah. They're very steep but shallow steps for the stair step. So yeah, Claude says that they're currently reading Stephen King's Carrie and it has no chapters. And Andy would like to point out that chapter length does also depend on genre. Literary works tend to much longer chapters. So true.
This is true.
Greg says they made an entire World War I movie in quote unquote one shot. Woof. I did watch Fury, which is World War II. But you look back on it, and because of where it breaks and stuff like that, you realize that entire movie was supposed to be like one day. And it was just relentless. I think some movies, you're exhausted at the end of it, and it helps you, empathize better with the characters, but it's also maybe not something I'd watch again because it was so emotionally draining.
I would imagine that an entire movie in one shot would be exhausting to watch.
Oh, yeah. So Greg says that I made Pam a fan of the musical Six and totally agreed there was no legroom. Andy says his wife has had trouble with the seats there as well. Mm-hmm. Greg says, if the biggest thing that bothers you about Stephen King is a lack of chapters, you may be atypical. Oh, so. Whew. Oh. Let's do a quick stretch break.
Where's Nightbot to tell us to stretch, right?
Oh. Well, if Nightbot's gonna slack, I need more stretches than normal during the stream because I've been at this since 1.
AM or PM?
PM. Oh. Although I did take a half-hour cat break and let Catechus nap in my lap a little, and he was quite appreciative.
I've got one big fuzzy on the floor who apparently has stopped snoring but is still asleep. Another one next to me on the couch.
Okay. So
this has been your cat census update.
I do not know where the catechus is. He could leap out and bite my head at any moment.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, wait, spotted. So he is sitting behind a chair, between a chair and the sliding glass door. With half of him, like I have a folding chair leaning up against the back of it. So half of him is like in that nook between the back of the chair and the table leaning against it. So he's half hidden and he's stalking the birds outside from his perch.
So he's in the sunroom.
He's in the sunroom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's the only place I have sliding glass doors.
Yeah. Last I checked, yes.
Oh, so Greg says, how many of the 5,000 words did get in? When
We've lost context, Greg.
Sorry. I
Help us,
split
everyone.
5,000. I split 5,000 word chapters, but I don't usually leave them that large. So
I've had a couple times that I've had like 5,000 or 550 words chapters, but I usually try to break them down. That's
yeah, I'll have scenes that get that long, and then I'll find a good break point. And unlike some people, I don't leave every chapter on a cliffhanger, but I write fantasy and not pulp. So pulp lends itself to cliffhangers on every chapter.
Yes, but never the end of the book.
But never the
never ever the end.
Yeah. Which makes sense for anything.
I have people who love that about my books because they're such engaging reads and they burn through them so quickly.
Greg said I wanted to get through 5,000 words on Facebook. No. I want to get my entire thing edited today. So that's 300 pages, which means I am, let's see, real quick. Page up. I got 50 pages done today so far. Over 50 pages. Thank you very much. So let's see. How many words is that? Almost. Highlighting the small section. I have edited word count 13,491 words already today alone. So, I mean, feeling a little braggy on that one. Just a little.
Yeah, it's really nice when you can edit through a section and everything seems tight and you get a lot of words done. Yeah. But it's also when you start hitting a lot of things, it's also because you needed to fix those things. So
right. Yeah. So yeah, let's right. That's a lot more than 5,000. I'm quite happy. So yeah. Speaking of, let's get back to it. I might need to grab a quick snack, but yeah. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1, boom.
Later, Claude.
And we're back.
Ta-da!
I did not finish that chapter, but this is one of my super long ones, so I wasn't gonna. I think I'm maybe halfway through this one.
So, but you found a good stopping point. So.
I did. So I heard you coming back. You seem a little out of breath, so I'm assuming the grocery showed up.
Oh no, they're still shopping.
Okay.
No, I just got up to go to the bathroom. I heard the alarm go off, so I hurried back.
Gotcha. Yeah, that happens.
And
yeah, I'm not even halfway done with this chapter. I'm 1,500 words into my longest chapter, which is 4,000. So,
but I also peeked out the window and discovered, hey, it's raining today.
It's been raining all day long.
Oh, never looked out the window, and it's been so scorchingly hot. I wasn't expecting rain today, so surprise.
What? Yeah, no, it's been drizzling at least since I sat down about 1. Because I have this window now that like faces me.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very exciting, at least for me. I had a coworker, a manager at work, mock me for being excited about adding a window to my office space.
Mock you about adding a window?
No, mock me for being excited.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, you clearly strike me as a gentleman who does not take pride in improving his house.
And it's still a case of, it's like, dude, what business is it of yours anyway? And
there is the thought that he might think I'm younger than I am and think that, you know, it's a bit early for me to get excited about that sort of thing, but
or maybe he just thinks nobody should get excited about adding a window. I don't know.
It's natural light. I'm very excited. Nah.
Yeah. I think that person has personal problems that are not ours to divine.
Right. So while we were sprinting, Claude had to pop out, and Andy was told by the cats it was time for dinner. So I waved to them. Let's see. Kelly has taken back his words about what makes a long chapter because he just checked his spreadsheet and his longest is 6,155 words. But he doesn't want to break the scene up.
A mite long, yeah.
So I think one of the things I learned about chapters is you don't have to stop a scene. You can just leave it on a cliffhanger and it gets more exciting and it's better for pacing. Mm-hmm. So that might be something to experiment with. Yeah. Because I think the natural tendency is a scene per chapter.
There are some chapters that end up with multiple scenes.
Right.
But once you start writing longer scenes, you do tend to fall into the habit of each chapter is a scene.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Once you get in the habit of cliffhangering, you have tendencies to put places in your scenes where you could cut it and you'd have a good cliffhangery moment there, which you can either gloss over in the middle of the scene because it's just the pace of how things flow, or you can say, there's a good point.
You know, I don't typically do cliffhangery, so I don't like put those in, but I find that most chapters, once you get over 3,000 words, there's probably some place you can break it.
Yeah.
And ramp up that tension. Leave questions that they need to get to the next chapter to find out.
Now you've got me curious as to, in my original draft, I just write scenes, and then in draft 2, I come by and start figuring out how I'm going to break it up into chapters. Now you've got me wondering, what's the longest uncut scene that I've done in a first draft?
Okay. And kind of Jen swung by. Hello, Jen. While you're looking that up, I'm going to pop into the comments. And King Red Spy Red X says that if Jimmy Crystal fights Jacob, King Red Spy, Red X, and kills him, then Jimmy Crystal is going to jail and he's going to be in big trouble. True. I do believe that's how battles work. So I would recommend not challenging Jimmy Crystal to a fight. And then you'll live and nobody will go to jail.
So far, the most notable one I've hit is I had a scene that was 74 words. I haven't run into any that are like ridiculously long though.
I'm looking, and I think my shortest original was 460 words. Oh, Jimmy Crystal's the character from Sing 2. I have not seen it yet, but it is on Netflix, so that could happen.
Here we go. Let's see. I had a scene in my first draft that was 6,784 words.
Oh, you got me beat. My longest for this was 6,724.
Let's see. And that basically is a scene about my characters escaping from a castle. So
Right.
lots of things, one right after the other. No good places for breaks. Well,
mine is about the aftermath of the tsunami and returning the injured alien to the ocean and getting attacked.
Let's see. Oops, skipped one.
I could split it into 2 chapters, but the problem is I don't want back-to-back chapters with the same character, and I don't have anybody else's pacing that would work for right there. So
that's interesting. Going back to my my last chapter, I found after the end I had this section that is marked as cut. That is about 7 paragraphs of dialogue that apparently I'd originally written in the section, and I didn't want to delete it because I was writing during NaNoWriMo. So I just put it in brackets and said, this part's getting cut.
legit.
Yep.
Do you like the dialogue? Can you work it in somewhere else?
And I gotta go back and look at it again. It was part of the last chapter.
Okay.
So it was talking about reasons and motivations why people did the bad stuff they did.
So, okay.
Let's see.
Was it spelling things out too much? Because sometimes I write that sort of explanatory stuff, and then I realize it doesn't need to go in.
It was a little bit over explanatory and to how things work. Yeah, it was.
Was it as you know bobbing?
It was very much as you know bobbing. It was down a rabbit hole. So
gotcha.
There were good reasons why it got cut.
Yeah. For those of you unfamiliar, as you know, Bob is a cliche in fiction writing where you're trying to give the reader information about your world or your characters, and you put it in a scene where nobody would be in real life. As you know, Bob, the whatever were born in this place and they were raised here, and we've always done it this way. And it's info dumps. It's a way people info dump. One thing I've seen to fix that is you can do the exact same thing with the as you know Bob, as long as Bob is complaining about it. Because in real life, people might not talk about the process of everything they do when they're doing it, but they will sure as bleep complain about the process of everything they're doing when they're stuck doing it.
Yeah.
So I found that an awesome trick to get away with it. But do try to minimize info dumps. And a lot of times a little bit goes a long way.
Yep. Which is why it's always helpful to have one character who's an idiot, so you can explain things to.
Isn't that your favorite part about your main character?
Well, he's my narrator. He's not my main character. My main characters are Crackle and Bang.
Oh, that's why it's
kind of
the
like
adventures of Crackle and Bang and not the adventures of Mr. Name is so crude no one can say it aloud.
Yep. It's kind of like it's the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. It's not the tales of Dr. Watson.
Right. So, okay. Are we ready for another sprint?
Oh, I think we might be.
Okay.
I'm down to 4 groceries to be shopped.
So I'm going to push hard and see if I can get through this chapter, but it might run a little long. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and give us, what do you say, 27 minutes, 30 minutes? What do you say?
Yeah, I guess 27 minutes works.
Okay.
Just
I'm adding 5 minutes to the usual 22 minutes because I need a little extra time and I don't want y'all stuck wondering how much longer will Morgan be working on this.
Into the future.
Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom. And maybe I'll trim the scene.
Dun dun dun.
This character has too many words. And we're back.
Yay.
So I actually finished with 2 minutes to spare.
Nice.
Right. And I trimmed about 300 words from that chapter. So now it's 3,600, which I think is I'm comfortable with. Especially since this character has 41,000 compared to everyone else's 19 and 25,000 words. So I'm trying to trim her down and balance the different point of view characters. So, but this is the story I came in with was, Vasilisa the Brave. It's a Russian fairy tale. So she's following that storyline. So it was a lot more concrete exactly what her priorities and things were going in.
Okay.
So how was your sprint?
It's pretty good. I finished a couple chapters on the powers of Congress and the president, and I started in on the courts.
Nice.
My groceries got shopped, but I haven't had a notification that they're on their way, and I'm half afraid that I'm going to get notifications from my doorbell that people are piling up groceries right up against my door.
Ooh, it opens outward, right? Because most
Yes, it does. Yeah,
most outer doors do.
Yeah, that's why I usually put a couple boxes, and I tell people to put the groceries in the boxes. But it's raining, so I haven't gone ahead and put them out there, which I probably should do as soon as we finish up here. But
sure,
it could just be that they packed everything into a cold container. They're shopping for somebody else before hitting the road and delivering stuff.
Yeah. Or the driver is not the same person as the shopper.
That sometimes happens too. I know that definitely happened the first time I ordered groceries from Wegmans. Is that they had one person do the shopping and somebody else do the driving.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And sometimes it's just that these guys will tell the app, okay, I'm done shopping, and then they'll go and then pack your stuff in their car and start driving, and don't tell you that they're driving until they actually get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be annoying.
Yup.
Yep.
So hopefully you will have groceries before dinner. Do you need them for dinner?
I don't necessarily need them for dinner, but it would be really nice to have them in and packed away.
Yeah. So you don't have to interrupt your dinner.
Yep. Although I've also got a cat here who's now bugging me.
Oh. Okay. Well,
and I just got notification that they're out for delivery. So
excellent. So for my final verdict for this stream during the 2 hours, I got 6,067 words edited. And let's see, how many chapters was that? Well, as we said, I have short chapters. So 10, 11, 12, 13. So 4 chapters in 2 hours.
Not bad.
That's like my average when things are going well. So not sad. Definitely not sad at that. So let's see. Wait, did I miscount? Two, 3, 4. No, I did not miscount. Okay. I just misread my outline. So, and I'm starting on page 120. So progress, maybe not as much as I'd hoped, but definitely not progress I'm unhappy with. So, and Jen likes my lipstick. Is that your groceries? Let's go ahead and peace out and let you get to dinner.
Not yet. My groceries still have got like 10 minutes. That was just another reminder coming up.
Gotcha. Well, it is 6:30. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm probably going to take a quick break, find some food, and then off stream be back at it again to see if I can at least get halfway through tonight. So
that would be good.
Yeah. So tell the nice people where they can find you.
Hi, nice people. I'm Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find links to all of my stuff down below in the notes. If you're watching this on Twitch, or if somebody's embedded it somewhere and you're fascinated by it, you want to know more, you can go to your favorite search engine and you can search for Doc Coleman Steampunk. And that'll bring up my page at doccoleman.com. It'll help you find my author page on Amazon, and you can preview my stuff and decide for yourself if I am one of the most underappreciated authors of my time, or just another of the underappreciated authors of my time.
Oh, and I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I am an actively queering fantasy author. I've got one short story out there called Just a Hike in the Woods, published in January online for free by Dark Recesses Press. And I blog, vlog, and podcast writing tips from the pros and my own writerly musings. This week, I had my blog and my vlog were about writing that sex scene in non-erotic works. And over on the podcast, I was talking about the future of podcasting. So if those things might interest you, the podcast is Writing Tips and Writerly Musings, wherever you get your podcasts. And my YouTube and my blog are morganhazelwood.com and youtube.com/Morgan Hazelwood, which you might have figured out since you found me already. So
unless somebody's embedded this in some random page.
Right, which could happen.
It could happen.
Thank you all for joining us. I hope you have a lovely end to your Camp NaNo July, and get ready for August. It's coming. So thank you all for joining us. Monday night at 9:30, Patrick Hopkins and I will be back with our query helpline, where Patrick Hopkins, who has the stats about what makes a query good, and I will be rewriting queries, first pages, and synopses for people who donate, because it is a fundraiser for reproductive rights. So if you are interested in participating, just directly message me on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or wherever you have, and let me know if you're interested, and we will rework your query or what have you live on the broadcast. So thank you all for coming, and we'll be back next week. And Sako, I think, is still at war. She's at Penzik.
Yeah, she'd still be at Penzik for another week.
Probably.
So she'll miss out starting off her August with you.
So have a great week, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.